Hello everyone, welcome to Scorched Toys at anymoon.com's review of Toynami's vinyl collection, Battlepod. There were a total of 5 Battlepods released by Toynami in their vinyl collection. They began with the standard Battlepod, that's the one you'll be seeing in this review. It came out in February 2010 for $24.99. It was either limited to 2,000 or 2,500 pieces, one of those two. The next release in the Battlepod line was the Heavy Artillery Battlepod. That was the 4th release in the vinyl collection. That was in May of 2010. Then we got the Do You Remember Love Color Standard Battlepod, that July's Comic-Con in 2010. That was a $35 release since it was limited to only 1,000 pieces. Then there was the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Heavy Artillery Do You Remember Love Color Battlepod. That was also limited to 1,000 pieces. And the final Battlepod release we got was the Light Armor or Light Artillery Battlepod in June 2011. Inside the clear plastic box, you got the toy itself, and that was it. There was absolutely nothing else. As you can see, it's a pretty sharp looking toy. Not a whole lot of painted on detail, but it doesn't really need much. If you remember from the show, they didn't really have a lot of markings in the show. One thing to point out, my toy does have a little bit of discoloration, despite the fact it spent pretty much its entire life in a box, so it hasn't gotten a lot of sunlight, but still discolored. Otherwise, still very sharp looking. You do have ball-jointed lasers, but they can't really point forward too well. So it's nice that they move, but they can't angle straight ahead like you might if you want to have it look like it's attacking something. These weapons do not move. These weapons do not move. Remember, this is a vinyl toy, so you shouldn't be expecting a lot of articulation, and you wouldn't be let down if you are. These boosters on the side pivot. They are super tight though. I'm sure I could get further if I really wanted to get angry with them. You do have a twist point at the waist. Moving down, you have hip joints, and you could, if you wanted to do a flying pose, bring the legs all the way back. They do kind of angle outward a little bit, but that's no big deal. Moving down the legs, there is no knee joint, despite the fact that the toys box showed one. There was a little... The first sample, they were going to do knees, and then they decided not to. There's a twist joint at the knee though, and that's it. Common complaint on these toys is that they are glued together largely out of a few hunks of vinyl, and that glue doesn't always hold well, so sometimes this toy will fall apart on you, and if it does, you can just glue the part that broke off right back on. It shouldn't be a serious issue. If you've seen my High Metal R Regolt review, you probably know where I'm about to go with this, but just in case, here's a group shot with everyone. The 1/100 toy scales obviously work very well with either the HMR or the Toynami Battlepod. Beyond that, you have the Kyoto Revoltech Regolt over here. Obviously a little bit smaller, doesn't quite play as well with the 1/100 scale vehicles, but it has a lot of articulation. It was fun. It's not quite in the same ball game as a lot of these other toys that you see in front of you. If you're looking for a Battlepod to go up against a Yamato V2, neither one of these are really going to fit the bill for you since they are so much smaller. So it comes down to the Toynami and the High Metal R. The High Metal R is like a full functioning toy. It's got gimmicks, it's got a ton of articulation, and it's fun to handle. But if you're looking for a Regolt not as a toy, but as background filler, then the Toynami would have been just fine. Unfortunately, it's pretty much all sold out right now. It used to go for between $25 and $35. If it's going to be much more than that, you're better off just buying the High Metal R, because then you actually get some more functionality. You can do some more fun displays with it. So, not a bad toy for the price. It's definitely a great likeness. Visit anymoon.com for my full review, and as always, thanks for watching.